Yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
On August 3rd, 2008, the New York Yankees stood toe-to-toe with the best team in Major League Baseball at the time and played a game that had more ups and downs than a roller coaster ride. Hi, I'm John Sterling, and welcome to another Yankees Classic. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim were the team to beat with a 69-41 record. Known for defensive excellence and run production, the Angels were on top of the American League West when they came to the South Bronx to play a 4-game series against the Yanks. By the last game of the series, LA had won 2 and New York 1. The Angels expected their starting pitcher, John Lackey, who had pitched a near no-hitter 5 days prior against Boston, to lead his team to victory over the struggling Yankees. New York wanted to split the series before they headed off on a 10-game road trip, and they were hoping that some of the new talent they'd acquired would be able to boost the team into the playoffs. Ivan Rodriguez left Detroit and joined the Yankees just 4 days prior, and Xavier Nady, who had come to the Bronx from Pittsburgh 5 days before Rodriguez. The Angels had improved with trades as well, notably with the addition of Mark Teixeira from Atlanta. So how would the new blood affect their respective teams in the middle of this pennant race? Well, you're about to find out. Let's join Michael Kay, Ken Singleton, and Paul O'Neill, and 54,204 very lucky fans at Yankee Stadium as the Yankees take on the Angels in the Bronx, August 3rd, 2008.
The Yankees have taken the field, and Darryl Rasner is taking his warm-ups. Let's take a look now at the Angels starting lineup. Sean Figgins at third base will lead off. Batting second and playing shortstop, Eric Ibar. Mark Teixeira at first base will hit third. Cleaning up and playing left field and carrying a 10-game hitting streak into this game, Garrett Anderson. Howie Kendricks, the second baseman, batting fifth. Batting sixth and DHing is Juan Rivera. Gary Matthews Jr. in center field will bat seventh, batting eighth, and catching Jeff Mathis. And Vladimir Guerrero has a day off, so Reggie Willits gets to start right field. He'll bat ninth.
Darryl Rasner on the mound, 27-year-old right-hander for the Yankees. He's made 14 starts thus far this year, 5-8, 4.92. You can see more than a hit per inning, 25 walks, 49 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .301. Let's take a look at the pitcher scouting report. This is his first ever start against the Angels. They haven't seen him before. Usually it buys you some time about the middle of the game. 3.80 home ERA. He's pitched pretty well here at Yankee Stadium, but you know, he's had some games where he should have won. Maybe the offense hasn't backed him, but still only one win since June 18th.
Oh, Rasner is ready. Figgins is ready. A beautiful Sunday in New York. Let's do it. And we're ready for baseball here at the ballpark. And the first pitch is a strike, and we are underway.
Yeah, you talked about Kenny throwing some games that he should have won. In the last game I did here against Baltimore, you know, he had pitched into the through the seventh inning, only giving up a couple runs. It's one of those nights where the Yankee offense didn't score early, but he definitely gave his team a chance to win.
The 0-1. Line drive, base hit. So good start for the Angels. Sean Figgins obviously is a threat to run. Let's take a look at the Yankees defensively. Behind Rasner in the outfield, you've got Nady at left, Cabrera in center, and Abreu over in right. In the infield, Alex Rodriguez at third, the captain at short. Wilson Betemit fills in for the injured Robinson Cano. His left hand is bothering him. Jason Giambi at first, and Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate. Rasner's on the mound. Now, Cano is available today to pinch hit if need be, but Joe just wanted to give him another day. That's why Betemit is at second. So Figgins, a threat to run, has a big lead. Ibar squares and pulls back 1-0.
Here's where the Angels usually try and put pressure on right from the start. You got a speedy runner at first. You got a hitter at the plate who makes decent contact and bunt the ball. So the Angels, they want to play small ball here. One way or the other, they can try and get things done. You look at the way that Figgins takes his lead over at first, Paul. It's like he's in a, you know, you got the Olympics coming up. It's like he's coming out of the starting blocks. The way he has his body turned right towards second base.
You know, I was looking at the same thing, and most runners don't want to give the indication that they're running, but I mean, everybody expects him to run. He puts himself in a position where he doesn't have to cross over. He's got that back foot already in a sprinter's position.
Now, the way he's leading off guys, though, wouldn't it seem like it would be tougher to get back to first base? Doesn't have to cross his leg?
I was thinking the very same thing, but evidently it works for him. Yeah, I think he's more worried about second base than first.
Yeah. Sometimes if you can get very comfortable and not worry about getting back to the base, not take a big lead or things like that, getting a better jump towards second is always better. I mean, sometimes you get such a big lead, your only worry is if you can get back. You're not a good base stealer.
Well, Ibar walks on 4 pitches. Rasner very, very comfortable pitching to Chad Moeller. Moeller has been designated for assignment. He had a 9.0 ERA with Posada, over 5 with Molina, and now this is the first time he has Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate. You wonder if there's a little bit of an adjustment period going on. Here's Mark Teixeira, first and second. 1-0.
It's all well and good, but when you're the 5th starter, 4th or 5th starter, you take who they put back there. I mean, it's your job to throw the ball over the plate, make good pitches, and try and go with the flow and do the best that you can and get people out. That's true for everybody out on the mound.
And the 1-0. 2-0, so 6 straight out of the zone for Rasner, and he is really working himself into problems. And here comes Dave Island to talk things over. Let's look at the game time weather conditions. The numbers tell you one thing. The words are, it is gorgeous here. It's 78 degrees, humidity 53%, wind 11 miles per hour, and the forecast is for a lovely sunny day. Now,
did you write that forecast?
No,
that sounds like you, Michael.
That's not me. That's not me. Now, yesterday you were out on the field in pinstripes again. Both guys. Isn't this the type of day that you want to run out there and play?
Once you're out there and you get loose, and if you don't think about and put yourself where you really are in life, you think you can go out and do something, and then you take that first swing, Kenny, and you figure out that things aren't where they used to be.
Yeah, you used to think about RBIs, now you think about AARP.
When you're a kid, you'll play in any type of weather. It doesn't matter, just as long as you're out there playing. But when you get to the big leagues, you get spoiled a little bit. You want every day to be like today. You're right, Michael. He has to keep an eye on both of these runners. They have good speed. It looks like Figgins is just measuring things. I don't think he's going to go with 1 out and Teixeira up, with nobody out and Teixeira up.
Runners go, and it's grounded to first. Bobbled by Giambi, stays with it, and flips to Rasner, so there's 1 away. And the runners do move up.
That's a surprise to me that he was on the move. I thought he would wait at least 1 out and then start thinking about moving to third base. But Teixeira, with the ground out, moves runners along. Giambi with a bobble here, but no harm, no foul. He gets the ball to Rasner covering. Teixeira is out at first, but the runners move up 90 feet. So runners second and third and 1 out. Little clank right there, but it didn't get away too far.
Yeah, but everything seems to be going right. I mean, the runners, again, you talk about it's probably an unusual situation to be running. They run, you get a ground ball, could be a double play. It ends up moving both guys over, and now the pressure's on to try to keep them off the scoreboard.
Garrett Anderson lines one over the leaping try of Giambi into the corner. That is going to score 2. Digging it out as Abreu. He fires it in. It's a 2-run single for Anderson. It's an 11-game hitting streak. It's a 2-0 lead for LA.
I don't even know if this was a strike. It might have been a ball.
I tell you, I've noticed over the years, Garrett Anderson, he makes his mind up on certain pitches that he's going to swing, and he'll take pitches. But right here, he's going after everything to drive that runner in. And you see that little hesitation coming out from a left-hander to make sure that thing got over Giambi's head, and then it's a big relief as a hitter.
He's driven in 24 runs in his last 26 games.
Here's Howie Kendrick. And the pitch inside, 1-0. Kendrick, a history of injury problems. He's very early in his career. But when he's healthy, there are very few that swing the bat better. So right out of the chute, you see the Angels with their aggressive play. Figgins singles, Ibar walks. They run with arguably their best hitter and most productive run producer at the plate. Second and third, then a 2-run single.
Yeah, stay out of the double play. Now yesterday the Angels scored the first 2 runs of the game and the Yankees came back and won. And the Yankees were only the 4th team this year to come back in that situation when the Angels have scored the first 2 wins and beat them. 2 runs and beat them. The White Sox did it, the Braves did it, the Rangers did it, and yesterday the Yankees did it. It shows you if the Angels get out in front, they can hold on to it. Usually they can hold on to it.
Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. So Anderson advances to second. Rasner has given up 3 hits already. Just 1 out into the first.
You see what's happening here is Rasner's not able to get ahead of hitters, and these guys are such good hitters in hitters counts. I mean, that's a 2-0 fastball. Kendrick's a good hitter to start with, but you give him a couple balls in a hitter's count, makes him much better.
Yeah, he's not going to miss too many. He might foul one back, but he's not going to miss another one.
Here's Juan Rivera.
Another guy who's been hot lately. All of his 6 home runs hitting within the last month or so. So again, Rasner needs to get ahead, needs to try to get that big out or that big double play, get the Yankees in there and realize, you know, you've got a lot of time in this game to let your offense try to come back. You just cannot give up the big inning to Anaheim.
And also to Anaheim when Lackey's on the mound, because Lackey is really a very, very good pitcher. And he's in all likelihood not going to get hammered out on the mound. You get up to scratch for runs. The 0-1. I thought you made an interesting point in the open, Paul, where you know they kind of start putting pressure on you in BP. They just have a way that they carry themselves as Angel team.
Well, you can tell, I mean, by watching teams come out and warm up and just how they go about their business. You can tell the teams that are having good years and the teams that are struggling. And the Angels right now, I mean, as soon as they walk out on that field, they expect to win. And for the most part lately, it's come true.
The 1-1. There's a strike. And the Angels like scoring first. They are 49-6 when they score first. And they're 20-35 when the opponents score first. So just underway here at the stadium. Another full house here in the Bronx. After this game, only 19 more games remaining in the regular season here at Yankee Stadium. So as of the 5th inning, it will dwindle down into the teens. And I think that fact, you could sense that was a non-introduced member of the old timers yesterday. A lot of the people were here to say goodbye to this ballpark and take one more look around. Because there's not going to be another old timers day here. And that's why they had the greatest response and 72 old timers and biggest old timers day ever. The 2-2 popped up behind the plate. Pudge Rodriguez puts it away, 2 outs. Here's Gary Matthews Jr. He is probably the highest paid bench player in baseball. Before last season signed a $55 million 5-year deal to play center field. And then during this past offseason, the Angels said, well, we can get better than Gary. We'll go sign Torrey Hunter. And Gary Matthews has kind of been pushed to the bench by Juan Rivera.
Well, Matthews is a good, solid defensive player. They're not going to lose all that much defensively in center field by having him in there. Though Torrey Hunter is on bereavement leave, attending a funeral for his grandmother. But Gary Matthews Jr. up to the last few years is sort of like the player that he is becoming with the Angels, although, as you mentioned, highly paid. He bounced around with several clubs: San Diego, the Cubs, Pittsburgh, the Mets, Baltimore, San Diego again, Texas, and now the Angels. So that's a lot of ball clubs.
And he had his best year at the right time, his free agent season. And the Angels bit and gave him all that money. And the 0-2. Nice block there by Pudge. '06 was his big year, and he had that with the Texas Rangers and just put together outstanding numbers. Last year was not a bad season, but the average dropped to 252, 18 homers and 72 runs batted in. And the 1-2 popped up. Jeter drifts back. He's on the outfield grass, and he'll put it away for the final out of the inning. So for the Angels, 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Angels 2, Yankees coming to bat. Well, John Lackey has a 2-0 lead. Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup. Johnny Damon, the DH, leads off. Then you've got Jeter, Abreu, and A-Rod following him, batting 5th. And playing first base, Jason Giambi. Xavier Nady from left field hits 6th. Batting 7th and playing second base. He's had a good series so far. Wilson Betemit, Ivan Rodriguez behind the plate, and Melky Cabrera in center field will bat 9th. Well, with the 2 runs that he gave up in the first, Rasner's given up more runs in the first inning than any other inning, 14 runs total.
And you look at what Lackey's done, you can see an excellent ERA, 2.93. And opponents hitting just 231 against him.
Damon takes a strike.
Here's our pitcher scouting report on John Lackey. Last year he led the American League at earned run average. Left-handed batters this year hitting 176.
There's a ground ball up the middle. Kendrick bobbles, hits a base hit.
Well, that 176 is going to go up a notch as Johnny Damon gets an infield single. The other number on Lackey there, 8-1 in his last 10 starts. Here's Kendrick on the backhand. Little bobble there, little double dribble.
Speed makes you do funny things in the field. You know, Johnny Damon's always been known to get out of the box quick, get down the line, and defensively, you know you have one opportunity to come up that you have to be perfect. And as soon as you don't get a grip on it, you know there's no chance.
Here's Derek Jeter. He is 6 for his last 24. And he bunts right back to Lackey. And the play is made at first.
You know, Lackey I thought he took a chance there. He looked to second to see if he had a play on Johnny Damon. I think you got to know who's running. Right. The ball gets down, Damon's going to make him to second, and it made the play tougher at first base. In fact, he almost threw it away. Teixeira had to field a low throw. I think once the bunt is down, he's got to realize he's not going to get the runner at second unless he falls down. Maybe that's why he took a look. But
you
Johnny,
see what happens.
Yeah.
He was actually starting to step as he was going to throw to second. It kind of opens your body out, and all of a sudden you're throwing sidearm to first base, and you know it's not your natural delivery.
Paul, I've had this conversation with Kenny a lot and a couple of our other colleagues. I hate that play, Jeter bunting in the first inning. I hate it. You're down 2-0. Why are you bunting in the first inning? Well,
again, I mean, I think that your intention was a little bit better bunt. It is try to bunt for a hit, get it down third base. Jeter has good enough speed to do that, but it makes something happen. And you know, he obviously hit it right back to Lackey, which looked like a sacrifice. But Jeter's pretty good at bunting for a hit when he tried.
I talked to Joe Girardi about that specific play, and he said sometimes, he said, Derek just doesn't feel good at the plate, and that's why he'll lay down a bunt, and he knows.
No matter what we say, he's not going to like that play.
I hate the play.
Right. I'm trying to explain it, and he's over there shaking his head.
Derek Jeter's a .313 lifetime hitter. I don't want him to bunt in the first inning. I just don't. The 0-2, swing and a miss, and Abreu down on strikes.
There's a big adjustment that Lackey's made later in his career. I mean, he's better against left-handed hitters. You talked about it. I mean, he's got good off-speed stuff, but he can use that cutter and he can use that curveball to get left-handers out. And Bobby Abreu is not just a left-handed hitter right now. He's one of the hotter hitters in the league.
That base hit by Damon was the first hit in 20 at-bats for a left-handed hitter against Lackey.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Alex leads the American League with a .325 batting average.
We talked about yesterday's offense. I mean, you get so spoiled when you have days like that where, you know, you hit a lot of home runs. Runs are easy to come by. These are the runs right here that throughout the rest of the year, they're going to make or break the Yankees season. I mean, you've got to learn to drive guys in with singles, get guys in to get back in the game and not wait for that late inning heroics.
Yeah, plus getting that runner in from third base with one out, that's always key.
The 0-2. Check swing. Did he go? They check with the first base ump. Scott Barry said no, he did not go.
See Alex trying to hold it up. You see about a 54-foot curveball. But again, when you've set up those pitches by throwing strikes before, and you're a little anxious if you're Alex Rodriguez who try to get that hit. Lackey's good at knowing, the situation of the game and pitching to it.
1-2. Now A-Rod not too good against Lackey. 8 for 42, a 190 batting average, and 3 of the 8 are home runs. Alex hit a home run against the Angels yesterday. Has 59 home runs lifetime against the Angels. Now he has 24 home runs this year, but 9 of them have been hit with the Yankees having a lead of 3 or more runs. And that's tied with Carlos Delgado of the Mets for tack-on runs or tack-on home runs. And those are the numbers we spoke of with Lackey, the 5 ribbies on the 3 home runs. The 2-2. Strike 3. Fastball right down the middle. And A-Rod down looking. So the Yankees strand a runner in scoring position with 2 of their bigger hitters up. No runs a hit. 1 man left. We've played 1. It's 2-0 LA.
After a slow start in high school, William Felton Russell earned himself an athletic scholarship to the University of San Francisco, which he would lead to 55 consecutive wins, 2 undefeated seasons, and back-to-back NCAA championships. In 1956, he led the Olympic team to a gold medal and then joined the Boston Celtics, bringing them their first NBA championship and helping them win an unprecedented 8 more championships from 1959 through 1966. He also inspired social change in America and spoke often of the need for ancestral pride for Black Americans. In 1967, Russell took over the Celtics coaching position and became the first African-American NBA coach, leading the Celtics to 11 championship titles during his outstanding career. Celebrating Black history, I am Ken Singleton. Metro PCS is a proud sponsor of Black History Month.
Welcome back to Tech and Talk. I'm Ranjit. This is Chad. Sir.
Hello, Ranjit. I'm stuck in a cell phone contract. Can I get out of it with no penalty?
There is always a penalty. You are now like my uncle's cow, Goldie, tied to a post, milked at regular intervals. Chad, shame him. You should be with Metro PCS. You'll get nationwide 3G coverage plus no contract.
$40 a month, period, for unlimited talk, text, and web. Metro PCS, wireless for all.
I'm Roger Teeter. In my 40s, I suffered from chronic back pain. I tried everything to find relief. Nothing really worked. Then I found inversion. The Teeter Hang-Ups offers natural decompression that can help to restore nutrients to the discs, reduce nerve pressure, provide realignment, and relax tense, tired muscles.
Call now to try the Teeter Hang-Ups for only $14.95 and receive the 30 Days to a Better Back program free.
Unlike any stretch you can do on your own, a few minutes a day on the Teeter decompresses all weight-bearing joints, promoting improved function and flexibility. That deep stretch leaves me feeling relaxed and rejuvenated. Even though I'm in my 70s, I feel great.
An extremely easy piece of equipment to operate, and the relief that it brings me is well worth the 3 to 5 minutes.
Give it a try and discover why over 1 million people worldwide have put their trust in Teeter Hang-Ups.
It's a regal event as the Nets face off against King James and his royal court. Tomorrow, the Nets will be prepared for a battle when they invade the homeland of His Highness LeBron James and his noble Cavaliers. Nets, Cavs. Coverage starts tomorrow at 6:30 with the Nets pregame only on Yes.
And the pitch to Jeff Mathis is a strike.
You start looking to the schedule, and it's going to be a hard schedule or a tough schedule. You get to this point in the season, every game is important. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You need to go out and just string together wins. And, you know, you're going into Minnesota next week. You're going to Texas. I don't care who you're playing at this time of the year. You've got to win games. I mean, there's a certain number that's going to win the division. There's a certain number that's going to be in the wild card hunt. And you better get to that number, or come October, it's going to be too late.
And the interesting thing is the Rays don't seem like they want to lose. The Red Sox have won the last 2 games, and Jason Bay has contributed against the A's. You've got the Twins that are right in the middle of the mix now for the wild card, hovering around the Detroit Tigers. It's not going to be an easy path. You've got to win games.
Somebody's got to start beating the Rays at home. They are very tough in their own ballpark.
Mathis swings and misses. On Saturday night, the Rangers fired a good friend, Mark Connor, used to be the pitching coach here with the Yankees, and called him in. And they also fired the bullpen coach, Dom Cheedy. So those 2 guys will not be there when the Yankees head into time. I've always wondered, well, firing the bullpen coach, the guy answers the phone pretty much. I don't want to disparage what he does, but how will that change the fortunes of the team? Is he going to say hello different on the phone?
Well, maybe you know, working with the pitching coach so closely.
I guess.
You know, it's not a familiar voice on the other end.
Right. Yankee
Mark
pitching
Connor,
coach is Mike Harkey.
I mean, he gave up a lot of home runs. He was my BP early when I got here with Buck.
Yeah.
He used to throw BP to us every day.
Well, the Rangers had the worst ERA in the league, and I think that's one of the reasons why he was let go.
They also have pretty bad pitchers.
They usually go hand in hand, doesn't it?
They're leading the world in runs scored. Somebody should be able to hold them, the other team down.
Reggie Willits works a walk. Figgins laces one into left center field. That is going to be trouble. It's in the gap. Cutting over is Melky Cabrera. Reggie Willits will stop at third. Moving to second is Figgins. And he's 2 for 2, and the Angels are set up again. Second and third with 1 man out.
Yeah, Figgins got that double strictly on his speed. First of all, he hit one to the gap in left center. Plenty of speed with Willits at first base as well. But Figgins, once he got to first, they decided it was going to be a 2-base hit. And even with Melky's strong arm, there's the speedy Figgins into second with a double. The Yankees have problems getting him out.
You know, you get the feeling that the Yankees every inning now are just trying to hold on to stay in this game. I mean, they're not in the game. You know, Lackey's out there, pitched a good first inning. But all of a sudden, you can't allow a team as good as you. Whoa. Usually you're safe in the dugout. Not today. That bat went flying into the Yankee dugout.
And it comes out okay.
You know, we talked about Razor and the type of stuff he has, and you know, you got a good indication of what great control can do when you watch Moose pitch yesterday. I mean, if you're hitting corners and you're making your pitches like he did yesterday, you can shut down a good lineup. But Razor has that kind of stuff where he has to be real fine, and you've seen Pudge move his glove a lot today, missing the target by just a little bit. This Anaheim team, they don't miss good pitches to hit.
Yeah, when you're throwing 95, say like Jabba Chamberlain, you can miss your target by a little bit, or even a little bit more than that, and get away with it. But when you're throwing more hitting speed, you've got to be more fine. There's Jabba. He'll be pitching tomorrow night in Texas.
I got Pudge on the mask. And he goes out and talks with Razor, maybe giving himself some time to shake that off.
We took a look at Jabba in the dugout, and today I've talked to him more the last couple days than I have the whole time he's been here. And to me, I mean, he's just a genuine. He's genuine. He enjoys being here. Yeah, I mean, you could tell he was signing baseballs. He couldn't wait to get out on the field and throw a little bit. Some people just enjoy the whole routine of being a Major League Baseball player. And Jabba, to me, the past few days has shown that that's what he wanted to do in life.
He did something else yesterday that I thought was impressive. He sat in the dugout for the entire Old Timers Day ceremonies, the introductions, and I thought that there weren't enough players out there. The entire Angels team was out there, and you wondered where were all the Yankee veterans? Where were they? But Jabba Chamberlain sat there the entire time, just totally locked into everything, taking it all in, taking in the history of this organization. The 0-2.
If you look at the difference, and I can speak from being on the other side of the fence playing in Cincinnati, there is tradition there, but not like here. I mean, you are absolutely blown away with the tradition and the history when you come to play here as a New York Yankee. There's nowhere else like it. Sitting here in Yankee Stadium, seeing people like Yogi Berra and Whitey Ford running out there, those are the guys whose names, Hall of Fame guys that, you know, that are benchmarks of baseball.
Nice play there by Giambi. He cannot control the ball. So Ibar will reach. Scoring is Willits, and it's 3-0 Angels. And they give Ibar a base hit.
Well, Giambi with a nice stop to the hole to close the hole on Ibar. And I don't know if it was a combination of him not able to come up with the ball cleanly out of the glove. Yep, you could see they had trouble right away with the ball. And then maybe Rasner wasn't over there quickly enough for him. See, didn't have a good handle on it. Finally got the handle. Didn't have anybody to throw to. At least not in time.
I think he got something in his eye. It might have double clutched there and then couldn't see. But, you know, again, this is, you get the feeling, and you shouldn't, because the Yankees have so much talent on the field day in and day out. But you get the feeling that they have to play perfect baseball just to compete with these guys right now, and they're not. I mean, Rasner's missing pitches. They, you know, some balls that could have made plays that you're not, and all of a sudden, you know, you're on the brink of putting yourself out of this game early.
Yankees have their bullpen going. Dan Geis warming up. Hey, you have to respect the Angels, but Paul, you're right. You look at the Yankees and you match them up position for position. Yankees have better players. And there's Geis, but they're not playing as well as the Angels. Angels are playing sharp, in sync, doing all the right things to get every advantage. I do want to note the 3 players that were in the dugout the entire time during the old time. It wasn't just Jabba. It was Jabba Chamberlain, Darryl Rasner, and Brian Burdick. Those were the only 3.
3 pitchers.
Right. Now, I don't know if there were some guys watching in the clubhouse, but those are the 3 guys that were in the dugout.
Oh, well, maybe you can excuse some of the position players because they might have been inside preparing for the regular game.
And Dante Girardi was there, too, the entire time.
Wanting to put the equipment on. He was there. I mean, Joe caught yesterday, so he was anxious to see his dad get behind the plate.
The 0-2. This should be 2. There's 1. Under first, a double play. But one more run for the Angels on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 3-0 LA over New York.
Guys, don't spend Valentine's Day in line and run the risk of a disappointed sweetheart. Instead, go online now. Send her a gift she'll want to show off. Beautiful roses for just $19.99. She gets roses, you save 50%. Order now, and she also gets this elegant vase and personalized card free. Or dazzle her with this deluxe gift, classic red roses, and all these extras for just $19.99 more. Hurry, supplies are limited. We deliver on time any day of the week, guaranteed. So schedule your perfect delivery day now. Go to proflowers.com. Look for the microphone in the upper right corner. Enter yes in the box.
ProFlowers' value is incredible.
All the other girls in the office were always jealous.
He made all the other men look pretty bad.
I really enjoyed getting the roses. They were just gorgeous.
This TD offer is 50% less than retail pricing, but only if you go to proflowers.com, look for the microphone in the upper right corner, enter yes in the box, or call 888-256-5267. Go online now.
For over 30 years, I've used the Total Gym for one reason. It does work.
It works.
It works. It works.
It works.
It works.
8 to 10 minutes a day can trim, tone, and even sculpt those problem areas that plague all of us. And take my word for it, you will shed pounds using the Total Gym.
I've lost 18 pounds using the Total Gym.
I've lost a total of 30 pounds.
I have lost 45 pounds.
I have lost 28 pounds total.
I have lost over 70 pounds on our Total Gym.
I lost 92 pounds.
Using the Total Gym, I lost 177 pounds. It's just amazing what I accomplished.
It's fast, fun, and invigorating. And most important,
Yankees remain scoreless in the bottom of the second, and both Darrell Rasner and John Lackey kept the game 3-0 throughout the third inning. We return to the top of the fourth when Rasner faced Sean Figgins with 2 outs and a man on first.
And the pitch to Figgins is a strike.
Well, you just get the feeling that Rasner is having one of those days where he's just going to have to battle every inning. I mean, last inning he threw up a 0, but a couple good defensive plays. And now you've got men on again. Still 2 outs, but you get the top of the order.
Willits is another one of the Angels who can run. Now, last year he started 119 games. This year he's been relegated to the bench. This is only his 14th start. Gets a chance to play today. He set a rookie record last year. Hit 293. Club rookie record. This year he's watching baseball. But he's in the big leagues.
Line drive, base hit. Figgins 3 for 3.
And this is just a class that the Yankees can go to and look at the way the Angels are doing things. And it's not guys up there swinging at the fences. Even with 2 outs, you see what Figgins does. You know, you base hit, all of a sudden still there's 2 outs, but you're in a run scoring situation. And once you get used to scoring in these situations, you become a much better team.
Figgins missed time early in the year. He's the guy who makes his living with his legs. He had hamstring problems. It's like a power hitter with a wrist injury.
Yeah. You talked about Willa not getting a lot of playing time, and if you look, I mean, here they are just cruising right now in the American League West, 12 and a half, 13-game lead, whatever it is, and all of a sudden you see what they're throwing out there. I mean, their everyday players are out there day in and day out. They're not taking days off. They're not relaxing. They're going out and trying to beat people.
Popped up behind the plate, and Rodriguez gives a look and makes the screen.
Kenny, you can remember the days of, you know, a long road trip. They've been in the Eastern Coast for all week, and Sunday you're going to go home. You might just throw out that B lineup knowing you got a big lead. If you check that lineup, you've got other than Guerrero, everybody's out there that should be playing.
But you know they'll be glad to get back to the West Coast and get back home. Baltimore, Boston, and New York on this road trip.
Vladimir Guerrero enjoying a day off.
I was looking at his numbers and mentioned the other day he's had 10 straight years where he's hit 300 with at least 25 home runs. And only one player did that more consecutively, and that was Lou Gehrig with 11. But Vladdy's going to have to get going. He's only hit about 285 this year. He's going to get the 25 homers.
Driven out into right field. Giving chase is Abreu. He cannot get there. It's up against the base of the wall. Reggie Willett scores. Here comes Figgins. He'll score. It's a 2-run double for Ibar. And now the Angels lead 5-0. And the boos are raining down on the Yankees here in the Bronx.
And again, you cannot stress enough at how good the Angels are doing this. I mean, a meaningless 2-out hit, and all of a sudden you couple base hits and you get a big one with runners in scoring position. Tack on 2 more runs, and you just get the feeling that Rasner all day has been on the edge of just having that big inning.
Yep, a 2-out walk to the number 9 hitter, Reggie Willits, who hasn't played much this year, has walked twice in the game and has scored both times.
Well, Joe Girardi has seen enough, and he is good at signals to the bullpen. So a rough outing for Rasner after a good outing his last time out. Angels are up 5-0. They're looking for more. We'll be back.
Become a Bombers blogger on MyYesNetwork.com, and you might be the next internet sensation.
MyYes is home of the Derek Jeter fan club.
MyYes loves the Bleacher Creatures.
MyYes created the playoff message board.
Love the Yankees? Then spread the word. Start a blog on the MyYes social networking site today.
You toss and turn all night. Your back aches and your neck is in a knot. Introducing the all-new Sobakawa Cloud Pillow. A pillow 300 years in the making, based on the traditional Asian buckwheat pillow. The Sobakawa cloud is filled with over 10 million air beads, a virtual sea of clouds that support your head and neck while keeping you cool and comfortable. Ordinary pillows are shaped like bricks. The Sobakawa cloud's unique crescent shape is designed to follow the contours of your neck and shoulders. As you move, the beads move with you, maintaining both comfort and support. Plus, you'll never have to keep fluffing and flipping like ordinary pillows. This is truly a stay cool pillow.
I feel refreshed, and I don't feel the back of my hair stuck to my head because of its coolness.
Your head weighs about 10 pounds. If you don't get support, you wake feeling worse than when you went to bed. We placed eggs on the bottom of these cylinders. Filled this cylinder with feathers from an expensive pillow. This 10-pound weight crushes the feathers and smashes the eggs. In this tube, we have stuffing from a fiber pillow, and it offers little resistance. Then we tried memory foam, and the weight wins again. Now watch as the weight hits the air beads. They absorb the shock, and the eggs are safe. Ordinary pillows flatten and lose their shape. The Sobakawa Cloud Pillow will keep its shape sleep after sleep after sleep. Order your Sobakawa Cloud Pillow for just $19.99. Call today and we'll also include the Sobakawa Pillowcase, a $10 value, and it's yours free. It's designed to breathe and continually adjust to the shape of the pillow. Order now and get both the Sobakawa Cloud Pillow and Pillowcase for the special TV price of just $19.99.
To order your Sobakawa Cloud Pillow, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-679-6152. That's 1-800-679-6152. Call now and we'll include the Airflow Pillowcase for free. So don't delay. Call 1-800-679-6152. That's 1-800-679-6152 and order your Sobakawa Cloud Pillow today.
Are you stressed over credit cards and other debts? Maybe through no fault of your own? Imagine how it would feel to have that weight lifted right off your shoulders. Well, here's some good news from America's trusted name in debt relief. Care One providers have already helped over 4.5 million people in debt, and we can help you today. Just call this toll-free number to speak with a friendly representative, and in just minutes, you'll get your free debt relief analysis.
Regardless of your situation, Care One has an option for you.
Strangely, Joe Girardi did not lift Rasner. We thought he went to his arm. So did the umpire. Let him talk out there for about a minute. And then finally, no one was coming in from the bullpen. So they broke it up, and Girardi went back to the dugout and got booed by the fans because he didn't take Rasner with him.
This might be that situation where, you know, you're down 5 runs, you go talk to him, you let him know, you know, I need an out here. And this might have a lot to do with how much you're going to see Rasner down the stretch. I mean, if he can bowl his neck and get a couple more innings in him, then he's kind of proven something to his manager.
It was about a minute 20 that he was out on the mound. And, you know, I guess when he was scratching his arm there, like he was signaling to the bullpen. And the home plate umpire, Ed Rapuano, did not come out to break it up because he thought there'd been a signal. So a little bit of a deke by Joe Girardi, and a deke that the crowd didn't like. They were stunned because it was such a long conference. And then when he left the mound without Rasner in tow, they started to boo.
It looked like it was a one-sided conversation, though, that Rasner was kind of listening and shaking his head, and maybe it was a little more stern of a talking to than you thought of. You're going to have to get some people out here, or else, you know, we're going to have to think about maybe somebody else doing some pitching when your turn comes up next.
You got another 4-game series coming up in Texas. I mean, it's just, you've got to get these starters used to going 6 or 7, even if they're struggling, and that might be the indication here. Or just giving him an opportunity to get at it and get a big out in his mind to get some kind of confidence.
And no team ever bags a game, especially 5-0. But 5-0 with Lackey on the mound, and you've got 10 games in a row on the road. You're not going to start wasting people in the bullpen. You want this guy to bear down and get through another couple of innings so you don't have to get all those outs out of the pen.
His next start is scheduled against these Angels
in Anaheim.
Yeah.
You know, we wondered on Friday, was Sidney Ponson pitching for supper, and he pitched beautifully, 7 shutout innings. You wondered the same thing about Rasner, and Joe Girardi said before the game, all of these games are huge now. They're bigger than the previous game. So you can't continue to run Rasner out there and have him get tattooed. 3-2. Right back to Rasner. He catches the ball on the line for the final out of the inning. That was ticketed to center field for an RBI single. So all with 2 outs. Angels 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th at 5-0 LA.
For the 4th, John Lackey pitched himself into a sticky situation when he loaded the bases with 1 out.
Jeter leads off 3rd, Abreu off 2nd, Giambi off 1st, the 1-2. High fly ball, left field. Jeter tags, Anderson makes the catch. Jeter will score. Moving to 3rd is Abreu, and he's out. And the run does score. No, he's saying it did not score. The umpire said that the out was made at 3rd before Jeter could score. That is a terrible base running maneuver by Bobby Abreu. Absolutely awful. You cannot make the final out at 3rd base, especially when the run's trying to score. And let's take a look.
Garrett Anderson with the strong arm. He can still play the outfield. You can see Abreu's out by far. Jeter had not touched home plate, according to Ed Rappuano.
We go to the 5th inning. It's 5-0 Angels. New pitcher for the Yankees is Dan Geis. And Garrett Anderson swings and misses. That last play of the bottom of the 4th inning. And you'll see Geis's numbers there. He's been very, very good for the Yankees. Might be about as poorly conceived a baseball play as you will see. It is totally nonsensical for Abreu to try to advance to 3rd. Let's see if Jeter scored before he was tagged out.
Well, first of all, Jeter's tagging up. Of course, he left after the ball was caught. But here's the throw to 3rd. As Jeter touched home plate before the tag was made on Abreu, and according to the home plate umpire Ed Rappuano, Jeter did not touch home plate as Anderson strikes at it.
And there you go. And that's a great call.
Ed Rappuano at the bottom of your screen, watching Jeter approaching home plate, and somehow he can see the tag at 3rd as well, and you can see that he made the right call.
Now let me explain the technology that showed that picture. We froze those pictures. We have matching time codes on the machines, and at the exact same time the tag was made and the foot had not touched home plate. So it was a great call by Rappuano. There you see it right there. But now let's get to the crux of this play. Why would Bobby Abreu go to 3rd base?
Well,
backhanded by Jeter. The jump throw toward 1st. Got him. Great play by Jeter.
After you see Derek's bread and butter play here, I mean, the thing is you do tag up, because if you read the throw from Garrett Anderson of being a lob throw over the cutoff man, you might be able to cruise into 3rd base. But as soon as you know, the play's in front of you if you're Bobby Abreu, and as soon as you read that he's going to 3rd base, even halfway between, you stop and you've got a chance to get back. Why he went all the way there, I don't know. I mean, if you look at Joe Girardi a couple years ago, this is when he was with the Marlins. He'd grab a young kid, put his arm around him, and explain, this is not what you do. These are the things that Joe Girardi thought he was past when he came to a veteran ball club.
Now, you know Joe, both of you know Joe. That play was very close. He did not even argue.
No.
It was almost as if he was embarrassed that that play was made.
Yeah. You know, you could see if Abreu's attempting to get the 3rd, and he would be the 1st out.
Right.
Trying to get over there to score on another sac fly. But he was the 3rd out, you know, so
and the old baseball adage, you don't make the 1st out at 3rd, you don't make the 3rd out at 3rd, because you're not gaining an advantage. So even if he had gotten to 3rd base, what's his advantage at 3rd other than maybe scoring on a pass ball?
If there were nobody out and the ball was hit to the outfield, you can see him trying to get over there.
That's a perfect throw.
Yeah, Anderson, he doesn't play the outfield all that much anymore. Sometimes, maybe 2 or 3 times a week.
But such an easy throw from left field to 3rd base. But again, I mean, Bobby Abreu, you do tag up, but immediately you can get the read as you take off that Garrett Anderson's put something on that throw, and chances are you don't have an opportunity, and you do have much more time than you think to stop, you know, 10 steps into the run or whatever, and still get back to 2nd base.
Strike 3. Rivera down looking. Really impressive inning for Danny Geis as he retires. The Angels in order 1, 2, 3, and Juan Rivera having a word with Ed Rappuano. We're halfway through. 5-0 Angels. Leads off the bottom of the 5th. And the pitch is low, 1-0. Better meet Pudge Rodriguez and Melky Cabrera. Bottom of the order against John Lackey. Yankees had the bases loaded and 1 out in the 5th. They could not score a run.
Yeah, the door began to open against Lackey last inning. Let's see if you know, it stays open a bit. The Yankees can get another rally going. They actually closed the door on themselves last inning.
Yeah, you look at the game and you look at the opportunities you have throughout the game. In that last inning with bases loaded, again, it looked like the Yankees were almost playing for a run. And you got to realize offensively, I mean, a blooper, a hit, anything, just to keep that thing going. I mean, you could throw a big number up. It's so amazing how when you play really, really good teams, when you make mistakes, how evident they are. I mean, base running mistake gets them out of the inning.
Nice play by Teixeira.
You knock it down, pitcher's right where he's supposed to be. I mean, textbook baseball if you're watching the Anaheim Los Angeles Angels play.
Well, you got a Gold Glove first baseman Teixeira. Casey Kotchman was a good one. They made a deal, and Kotchman now playing in Atlanta. Teixeira's here with the Angels. Nice play, bobbles, but look. Watch at the end of the play what Lackey does. Points right at the first baseman. Said, "You the man," especially on this play. And Teixeira, not only a good hitter, but an excellent fielder. Yeah, you the man.
Won the Gold Glove in 05 and 06 with the Rangers. Hey, there's word out that Teixeira wants a 10-year deal.
I almost brought that up. I don't know. I never heard it. Kenny, I'm sure in your area you never heard it. Players just going to management and say, you know, I want 10 years. We're not even talking 1, 2, 5. I want 10 years right now.
Well, A-Rod got it.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a precedent has been set.
Remember the first one, Ken? I bet you do.
10-year deal?
Yeah. Remember Ross Grimsley?
Ross got a 10-year.
$20 million 10-year deal.
My buddy Ross Grimsley got a 10-year. They're still paying him.
That one's driven deep to left field. That ball is gone. See ya. Home run, Pudge Rodriguez. Yankees on the board at 5-1 Angels. That's his first home run as a Yankee, his 6th overall.
Well, the door opened up a little bit on this pitch to Pudge Rodriguez. And let's see if more Yankees can follow him through there. It looked like a slider that hung in the middle of the plate. Pudge knew it. Just a matter of fair or foul. And, yeah, it's fair.
And hopefully that's at bat that, you know, Xavier Nady had a few nights ago that really got him going. Hopefully Pudge can relax now. Know that, you know, he put one of those under his belt and he can get going. But again, you hate to keep throwing up the same point. I mean, with a couple men on last inning, that'll put them right back in the game.
Melky grounds out.
Who gave Ross a 10-year deal? Was it the Montreal?
I think it was the Indians. Am I thinking the right guy? That's it, Wayne Garland. Thank you, Kenny.
And Wayne actually, after a couple of years,
got hurt.
He hurt it, and that was it. He was done. Hurt his shoulder. He had left Baltimore and went to Cleveland. He won 20 one year in Baltimore. Indians signed him to a big deal, and he pitched fairly well his first 2 years, and I think he hurt his shoulder.
What's his handicap, though? That's the important thing.
Ross. Now, I'm not.
You're smiling, so it's not good. I see that. Keep those guys around in case you're playing bad. You need somebody to beat up on.
Well, you got to eat lunch every once in a while.
We got to get Michael out. I could just see you out there. White shorts, Argyle sweater.
Why don't you just get Michael a 10-year deal?
They don't have enough money to pay you for 10 years.
Oh, yeah. Inside.
Argyle socks.
No, sweater.
Yeah,
Argyle sweater.
Sweater vest.
Remember Jackie Gleason memories?
That's who you're picturing, right, Ken?
Yeah, that's right. Playing golf.
Address the ball. Hello, ball.
The classic.
5-1 Angels lead the Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Yankees trying to chip away, climb back in. Grounded to first. Teixeira is there. He takes it himself, and that's going to do it. But the Yankees get on the board. Pudge Rodriguez goes yard. First time as a Yankee, right down the line. 6 home runs with the Tigers and the Yankees. That one makes it Angels 5, Yankees 1 on yes.
6. Dan Geist took down the side, keeping the score 5-1 Angels before the Yankees stepped up to the plate in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, those ugly clouds have moved away, and it's turned once again into a lovely day here in New York. 5-1, the Angels lead the Yankees as we go to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Jeter, Abreu, and A-Rod. Jeter, a sac bunt in the 1st, and he walked in the 4th. And a strike. Now, you mentioned that when Girardi was managing the Marlins, there were kids. And if they made a mistake like Abreu made on the bases, he'd pull them aside and say, don't do that. You think he has to say anything to Abreu?
No. And it's just, I don't care how good a player you are, how long you've been in the league. I mean, you make mistakes. But the mental mistakes are the things that drive managers and organizations crazy, especially in games like this. And when you're playing the Angels, when mistakes really hurt you, you know, they stick out. It's over with. You go on. You know, you're on deck, obviously. So Derek's led off with a single. Now you try to keep this thing going. Put yourself and your team in a position again where you can get back into this game. Lackey seems the past couple innings to be giving up a little bit more. And you realize how good the Angels bullpen is. I mean, you've got to throw runs up before you get too late in this game.
I agree with you. He doesn't have the same thing as Abreu. Abreu's been around long enough to know that he really screwed up on that play, and you know, he's going to try and make amends. You know, try and do something to help get the Yankees back in this game. He's already had a single, but he's been one of the hotter hitters of late.
Coming into this game, Kenny, since the All-Star break, hitting .362 in 15 games. And there's a strike. Ground ball, and past a diving Kendrick into right center. Jeter will go to third. And the Yankees have runners on the corners and nobody out. Same situation as they had in the 4th.
I was going to say, Yogi Berra is deja vu all over again. I mean, you're in the same situation. Bobby Abreu puts a good at bat, strike one with a curveball, then he gets a ground ball to go through the infield, and you're right back to where you were. Now, do you learn something from your past a couple innings ago if you're A-Rod and the Yankees on how to put up, you know, they're getting late in the game where they got to start putting up some runs.
I'll tell you what, Alex Rodriguez came into this day leading the American League in hitting, but he has not been getting big hits this year. This is a big moment in this game. He struck out in the 4th in this spot.
They got a slider first time up. They got a fastball this time up. So you almost, as a hitter, know, and in the back of your mind, last time up I got a slider first pitch. This time up I got a fastball. You start thinking on how they pitch you the time before and almost try to hit the opposite.
He is 25 for 100. With runners in scoring position. That's 250. As a team, the Yankees hit 261, so he's under the team average. And now he's quickly in an 0-2 hole. In comparison, Bobby Abreu is at 293. Johnny Damon at 378, runners in scoring position. Jeter 303. Matsui, when he was active, 338.
Got him strike 3 with a ball high up out of the zone last time.
Yeah.
So, Kenny, there's a few things you can do here. I mean, you throw that curveball high and try to freeze him, or you, again, try to throw that ball up and in and maybe go away with the curveball the next pitch.
You know, I always felt when I got to 2 strikes, that's where my discipline really had to be on alert. You really had to make the pitcher throw strikes. You know, you cut down your swing a little bit. You maybe not quite as aggressive. You're just looking to drive the ball crisply. You're not putting your ace home run swing on a pitch unless it's a real mistake.
I think as a hitter, you always have to remember it does not have to happen on this pitch. You keep battling. You see A-Rod there. You keep battling and battling, and make sure. I don't care how good a hitter you are, you have to swing at strikes. You start swinging the balls up in your eyes and down out of the zone, you're just helping out a good pitcher.
And good pitchers will recognize that, and that's what you'll get with 2 strikes. Pitches just out of the zone.
Check the swing, ball in the dirt, the count 2-2.
See, that was a teasing pitch from Lackey. He realized he had a pitch to work with there. Maybe try and get A-Rod to chase a pitch out of the zone and strike out a tough hitter, strike himself out in a pressure situation.
He's throwing 3 back-to-back, breaking balls, and he got ahead early in the count with fastballs. So you almost get the feeling that they're going to try to sneak that fastball again. Overthrew it, kind of threw it away. So now you're at 3-2, and A-Rod, you have to look fastball here. I mean, there's no way around it. But in the back of your mind, you've seen that breaking ball. With a 4-1 lead, in my mind, I'm sitting dead fastball here, Kenny.
He did the other night against K-Rod, got himself a changeup.
Yeah, leading off an inning, too.
Oh, here comes the breaking ball.
3-2, and A-Rod walks. He had the discipline to work the walk, so the Yankees are set up now. Bases loaded and nobody out.
See, in a situation like that, you got to be willing. You're up there to hit, but to keep an inning going, you got to be willing to accept the walk and set it up for the next guy.
That's a good at bat by A-Rod, because he's down in the count. He had just struck out the time before with the same situation. And like I said, early in the count, as soon as you get back 0-2, you have to remind yourself, you can't go out of the zone. All of a sudden, he got Lackey to a 3-2. Lackey took a chance. Ball 4. Now the Yankees have put themselves in a position where a lot of good things can happen.
Let's see how Lackey regains the strike zone here. He just walked the batter to load the bases. Sometimes when pitchers regain the zone, they throw too fat a pitch.
Now the count 1-0.
Every succeeding ball is to the advantage of the hitter, because the pitcher has to throw a strike eventually, and usually it might be a fat one in the middle of the plate.
Lackey really seemed to be missing with that breaking ball. He's been so successful early in the game. So as a hitter, you shrink in that zone, look for the fastball.
Yeah, he got it, but he missed.
It's starting to unravel for John Lackey. Jeter is at third. Bobby Abreu's at second. And Alex Rodriguez at first. Nobody out. Bottom of the 6th. Yankees trying to get back into a game. They're trailing 5-1. Giambi is 1 for 13 with the bases loaded this season. And the 2-0. Popped it up. Drifting over is Figgins. And he makes the play. It was not an easy play. The ball came back on him. But that one does nothing for the Yankees. Now Lackey's a double play away from getting out of the jam.
I was just going to ask you, Kenny, and we kind of ran out of time. 2-0. I think if you're a home run hitter that could tie this game up with one swing, you've got to put the bat in motion. But, as a player that's not a home run hitter, I think you got to take a pitch there. So,
Make him work harder.
Yeah, Giambi got a good pitch to hit. Just popped it up.
So Giambi now 1 for 14 with the bases loaded this season. He's 0 for 2 today. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, comes out to talk with Lackey. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Here's Nady. Big spot for him. Nady is 1 for 2. And the pitch. Strike. Nady singled to left in the second, then flied into that funky 7-5 double play where they tagged out Abreu at third before Jeter could score on the sac fly. Nady 3 for 9 this season with the bases loaded. Boy, Mathis does some job behind the plate.
He is excellent. And his manager, Mike Scioscia, appreciates it, being a former catcher, that this is a saving type stop right here. It gets by him. The Yankees have a runner. Runners move up.
Count 2-1. Yankees need a big hit. The 2-1 fouled away. Along with Ken Singleton and Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kay, and you're watching Yankees baseball on the Yes Network. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning on a Sunday afternoon, and the Angels lead the Yankees 5-1. Darrell Rasner gave up 5 runs in 4 innings, and he's been relieved by Dan Geis, who's put up 2 zeros in the 5th and the 6th, giving his offense time to try to chip away. Opportunity right here.
And we've said, Nady, when he's really hitting the ball well, his approach is to right center field. I mean, especially with 2 strikes. I mean, if you get a hanging breaking ball, you'll end up turning on it anyway. You've got to try to force the ball to right center field.
And the 2-2. Driven out into right center field. Deep, giving chase is Willits. On the run, he can't make the play. The ball bounces over the wall for a double. 2-run score. And the Yankees have cut it to 5-3 on the 2-run double by Xavier Nady.
Now what Paul is talking about is that you're kind of cutting down your swing with 2 strikes. You're trying to make contact. You look for a pitch out over the plate that you can drive. He did it. The outfielders kind of run together and get twisted up out here. And an unfortunate bounce for the Yankees, because the ball will bounce over the wall and only 2 runs would score. A-Rod would have scored from first if this ball stays on this side of the fence. Watch Gary Matthews Jr. and Reggie Willits get tangled up here, but neither one of them are going to catch it, and the ball bounces over the fence for a ground rule double for Xavier Nady, who all season long with the Pirates and the Yankees has hit over 300 with runners in scoring position.
And sometimes that's the best thing that can happen. I mean, if you're not with the club all year, you almost get, as a club in general, you know, looking for that big hit, not getting it, and you start to press as a club. Here's a guy it's come in kind of fresh, and to see him come through with a big hit like that can help this whole lineup.
Well, the Yankees have the tying runs on now, and the 5th run is in scoring position. Here's Wilson Betemit, and he starts him off with a breaking ball low, 1-0.
Yeah, Nady's not only hit with the Yankees, he's hit with some power. 3 doubles and 2 home runs now,
and 6 ribbies
out of 8 hits.
The 1-1. That'll get a run in. A ground ball to Kendrick. Scoring is A-Rod, an RBI for Betemit. Nady moves to 3rd, and the Yankees have cut it to 1.
These are the situations, Michael, that you bring in a veteran player, a future Hall of Famer to help you out in these situations. I mean, you got Pudge Rodriguez, a big at bat, 2 outs, an opportunity to tie the game.
Here's Pudge. Count 1-0.
Pudge hit a slider his last time up, one of the poor pitches of the day for Lackey. It kind of hung in the middle. And Pudge hit the 294th home run of his career. He's coming up on 300 homers.
Lackey has lost that sharpness that he has had early in the game. He's not throwing that pitch right on the corner, right on the black.
Pudge has not been the most patient of hitters in his career. He's not going to take too many. If you get near the strike zone in this one, he's going to be flailing. Yeah. There's that hanging slider, and he was quick on that one.
And the count 3-1.
with that slider again, and he handled it the last time up. That ball was just a little inside. He couldn't get center it out. But again, I mean, Lackey's put himself in the position to try to get out of this inning and keep the lead. If you're Pudge, you got to realize that you got to swing and a strike here.
And he takes one. A good at bat, as Paul said. So first and third. And here's Melky Cabrera.
That's just the 20th time that Pudge has walked all year.
Jose Arredondo warming for the Angels. And Lackey's about to deliver his 30th pitch of the inning. Cabrera's 0 for 2. Another big spot in the game. Strike.
A lot of those curveballs that Lackey's throwing to lefties especially aren't getting in off the plate like they were before. That ball left out again, the same pitch, and you see the catcher lining up inside, and early in the game he was getting that ball in on their back foot. A lot of guys swinging over the top of it. Now you see that ball break it out over the middle of the plate. The Yankees getting much better swings.
Ball should have been lined over short.
Yeah.
There's a swing and a miss in the dirt, and the out is made at first. So the Yankees can't tie the game, but they certainly creep closer. They scored 3 runs. The big blow in the game, or in the inning, bases loaded, and a double that bounces over the wall in right center. Scoring 2. Lackey doesn't like it. The Yankees do. It's 5-4. Angels lead. We go to the 7th inning. And this is the importance. We're seeing the importance right here of long relievers. Because if Dan Geis had come in and given it up, then the ball game was over. But he threw 2 zeros on the board, gave the Yankees some hope, and now they've scratched themselves back into this game. So Geis will go out for inning number 3, and he deals to Eric Ibar. And he tries a drag bunt, but fouls it off.
Ibar's had himself a good afternoon with a walk, a run scored, driven in 3 runs, with a single and a double. Yankee bullpen is busy. Lucky looking maybe a little shell-shocked on the bench. He knows he's let the Yankees back into the ball game.
Well, he's had back-to-back innings with bases loaded. I mean, a lot of things could happen on the Yankee side, but you know they have fought their way back in. And Michael, you said that Geis has kept them there, but the closer you get to coming back to tying the game, the more important it is to shut them down.
And there is a pop up. The Jeter one away. And the pitch to Teixeira is a strike.
You know, you look out towards the Angels bullpen and it's busy. I think Mike Scioscia realizes with the bases loaded for the Yankees 2 straight innings that's taken a lot out of John Lackey. And he might be you don't know if Lackey's going to come out and start the next inning. Takes a lot of energy for the pitchers to escape a bases loaded situation, not once but twice.
There was kind of a question mark coming in here after that near no-hitter he just threw out in Boston, if that would take a little bit out of him. But you know, he got off to a great start, but you see him starting to labor a little bit. And that last start where he threw 100, he ended up with almost 120 pitches.
120 exactly.
Yeah, that's that can take a lot out of a pitcher, because I mean there were a lot of big pitches in that game. When you're getting down towards the end of a no-hitter, you know that every ounce of energy you have at that point is going into every pitch.
And sometimes the no-hitters actually put the managers in a tough situation. You got to keep them in there. They were up 8-0, I think, and he probably would have been out of the game. Maybe after 7, they turn it over to the bullpen. But they build up the pitch count because, hey, he's allowed to try to get the no-hitter. Popped up to right field. Abreu makes the play, 2-away. Tuesday night in Boston, Lackey flirted with immortality, and he was great. 1 out into the 9th inning. That one was an almost, but David Ortiz, and he was dealing. Great breaking ball, getting left-handers, but with 1 out in the 9th inning, Dustin Pedroia hits one in the hole on the left side. The one slides up. Immortality slips away, but he does get the win. He gave up a home run right after that. 2 hits, 2 runs, but got the win. And he's 9-2 on the season. Garrett Anderson with a pitch outside, 1-0.
That was close. Looked like Geis and Pudge thought that was a strike, and Garrett Anderson's always cool. You know, he just stood there like 15th Major League season, all with the Angels, 3-time All-Star. He was an MVP of the 2003 game, and Angels all-time leader in games and hits and RBIs. And he's second in home runs to Tim Salmon. We mentioned Salmon early in the game. Salmon hit 299. Anderson has 268.
Swinging on 3-0. And he misses.
He was trying for 269.
Three and 2. And a 3-2. Squibb the other way, and it's a base hit. When you're hot, you're hot. Alex Rodriguez runs out there, but fielding to carry him is Nady. And Anderson picks up his 2nd hit of the afternoon. And he's laughing at second base because he knows that those are rare. You hit the ball hard, sometimes it's an out, then miss.
Remember the count was 3-0. Swung and missed, and you know, came inches away from a strikeout and squibs it off the end of the bat, keeps it fair, and that ball makes a left turn.
I tell you what, you laugh because you're kind of embarrassed, but you'd not want to go do it over again. I mean, you'll take that double just like you hit it off the top of the wall. A lot of the innings that the Angels have scored in today have all been with 2 outs, nobody on. Next thing you know, you get a hit here or a walk there, and the next thing you know, you see Garrett Anderson kind of enjoying that one.
Not only a single, but a 2-base hit. They're going to walk Howie Kendrick, and with good reason. He's been a good hitter against the Yankees. He's hitting over 400 with runners in scoring position this year. So Kendrick's going to get an intentional base on balls. They're going to work on Juan Rivera, who has been struggling a little bit of late. I think Rivera's 1 for his last 14.
And he's 4 for his last 27. So the hot streak that got him in the lineup has now turned around. Maybe Gary Matthews Jr. gets back out there. Now, I was talking to some of the Angels broadcasters today and asked the rhyme or reason why I bar some games, why it's
Yeah.
There is none. Nobody can figure it out. He just, whatever the feel is.
I was thinking the very same thing.
That's their shortstop situation, and why would Teixeira bat third when he should be batting fourth and protecting Guerrero? Because that's what he wants to do. And he doesn't really explain himself in detail.
When you got a 12.5 game lead, you don't have to explain much. Okay.
Here's Rivera. Foul ball. Juan is out of the Yankee system. Scioscia's out of the Dodger system. Any old timer that you talk to that played against Scioscia, you won't find a tougher catcher. He almost seemed like he liked getting hit at home plate.
He was good at what he did. I mean, he knew what he was good at. He was an average hitter. Didn't have a lot of power, but he was a great defensive catcher. He took a lot of pride in that, and he blocked the plate. We talked about it a couple of days ago. Better than any catcher I've ever seen.
Sounds a lot like Joe Girardi. Although I think Joe would tell you Scioscia was probably a better player than Joe Girardi. Definitely better hitter. They were comparable defensively. The 1-1. Popped up. Betemit is there, and 3 scoreless innings for Dan Geis. Here at the stadium, we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and Lackey is out, and Jose Arredondo is in. He'll face the top of the Yankee order, and look at the numbers on Arredondo. We've seen him earlier in the series. I believe it was the first game on Thursday. Kind of got hit hard, but a great play by Figgins and a great play by Teixeira really helped him out. And they look at him as a guy who would replace K-Rod. If K-Rod left as a free agent, Arredondo could be the closer next year. Grounded up the middle, grabbed there by Kendrick, and a scoop by Teixeira, and had an ice cream cone at the top of the glove, one away.
Hey, Kendrick, we always talk about his hitting, how good a hitter he is, and he's hit everywhere he's been, but he's only made 1 error in his last 50 games, and comes up solid here on this play. Ball's hit pretty well by Johnny Damon. Looked like it had a chance, but on the backhand, knows the ball was hit hard, so he has time to set himself and make the throw to first to get Damon out. It was a good play by Howie Kendrick.
You know, Michael, you talk about Arredondo, and I mean, it's hard to place him in a closer's role because although he does have great numbers, there's not much pass there. He doesn't have a lot of work, and you see a lot of ball. I mean, you're trying to replace a guy who's going to lead the league in saves this year, and it's very good to have an organization that sees great things in a young player, but to go ahead and throw somebody like this into the closer's role immediately, that's tough to do.
Yeah, one thing about closers, you have to have pretty good control when you come in. You think of Mariano, you think of K-Rod, you think of the top closers. They come in throwing strikes and getting ahead of hitters right away.
In his last 18 innings, Arredondo has allowed just 1 run on 9 hits, but he's walked 11.
Yeah.
And that's too many. But he has struck out 19. High fly ball. Left center, giving chase is Matthews. And he makes the... No! He dropped the ball. He dropped the ball. And Jeter is at second. That should be an E8. We'll see how they score it, but whatever the bookkeeping, Jeter's at second with the tying run.
Well, if you're an Angels fan, you got to be saying, Torrey Hunter would have had this in his back pocket. But, you know, every once in a while, he ran a long way for that ball. Garrett Anderson didn't make much play at it. Kind of got stuck in Nowheresville. Might have caught in the sun a little bit. Looks like he turned his head a little bit. So that ball probably in the end got in the sun. Derek Jeter gets a quick little burst of energy there when you see that ball drop.
You know, and I know it's a lazy fly ball, and Derek's gotten a second, but I think there was a possibility he could have gotten a third.
Well, it scored an E8. And that's going to bring up Abreu with a chance to tie the game. You mentioned Hunter would have had it. Hunter, 7-time Gold Glove winner. Kenny mentioned this earlier, is on a bereavement list. He had to fly home to attend the funeral of his grandmother, who actually raised him. So a very tough loss for Torrey Hunter. And we extend our condolences to his family. And yesterday, a reporter with really no feel for sensitivity asked Joe Girardi, you must be pleased that you don't have to face Hunter the next 2 days. And Joe handled it well, and he just said, you know what? I'd rather have Torrey Hunter in the lineup and not have him go through what he's going through. count 2-1.
Yeah, another thing about being a late inning closer is that you got to have a short memory. You know, Mariano's the best at it. I know he's been successful many more times than he hasn't been, but when he hasn't been, you can bring back the next day.
That should tie the game. He dunks it into left field. Here comes Jeter. He'll score. It's an RBI single for Abreu, and the game is tied at 5. And Bobby, with a base-running blunder, makes up for it with that big base hit.
We talk about how important just singles are with men in scoring position, and if there's one guy in the lineup that can do it for you in the New York Yankees, it's Bobby Abreu. He gets a ball up in the zone, doesn't try to do too much with it. Just a base hit. Derek Jeter scores easily from second base.
Well, that takes John Lackey out of the picture for our victory today as Jeter, I bet you he's happy as anybody. He might have thought he should have been on third, so he gets driven in anyway by Bobby Abreu.
So now John Lackey will not get a win, and the Angels bullpen in relief of Lackey has not been reliable. 5.06 ERA, that's their highest for any starter. So the Yankees, down 5-0, have climbed back in. 1 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. And there's Justin Spire, who is warming up with a fungo bat. And the 1-0. Hit sharply and past Figgins into left field. He usually comes up with that one.
I'll tell you what, that ball was hit hard. Yeah. That's just a reaction, and when it's gone, you're like, wow. Then you realize once it's in the outfield how hard that ball was hit.
Yeah, if Figgins does touch that, it might have dragged him into left field. This ball is scorched. A lot of overspin. And that's going to be scored a base hit for A-Rod. That was a worm-burning rocket.
And they do give him a base hit, as Kenny mentioned.
If that hit any worms, they would have disintegrated, right?
Sean Figgins, a good defensive third baseman, but sometimes, I mean, you can't even tell on that replay how quick that happens, how fast that ball is by, especially at third base in Yankee Stadium on a day game.
Well, Abreu is the go-ahead run. He's at second. Alex Rodriguez at first. Giambi at the plate. Giambi's 0 for 2 with a walk.
In this situation, I think this is the most straight up I've seen Jason Giambi played all year. Anaheim not going with much of a shift.
This guy throws pretty hard.
When Jason had his really hot month in June, he gave a lot of the credit to the other Yankee hitters, he said, because when there were men on base, they can't shift against me as much. And that opened some holes. Well, they're on base right now, and with the hard throw on the mound, they are not over-shifting. Now, the shortstop's shading up the middle, but he's not on the other side of the bag. That's a fly ball to left field, and Giambi's struggles continue as the out is made by Anderson. Jason 5 for his last 23. Along with Ken Singleton and Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kate, and you are watching Yes and Yankee baseball here on a Sunday afternoon. It's a good game. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 5-5. Here's Nady. Nady is 2 for 3. A bases loaded double right center field. That was in the 6th inning, and that started the comeback.
It's very interesting. You look at the way Joe Girardi's got to look at some of these series come up, and if you go up and down his lineup, there's a handful full of guys that have been, you know, your consistent hitters all year, and the other guys have gone through hot streaks and cold streaks, and you almost have to start managing to the point where you try to spread those guys out. Giambi's had real hot streaks. Now he's kind of cold streak. Cano's had that kind of year. Milky's had that kind of year. And hopefully with Pudge coming in and Nady come in, you've added a little more consistency. But, you know, you look at Abreu, A-Rod, Jeter's, you know, not his usual self yet, but those guys day in and day out, you basically know what kind of at-bats you're going to get.
It's interesting you mentioned the lineup because the way Joe set his lineup today, he's got a lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, switch hitter, righty, switch hitter. So that takes away some moves from Mike Scioscia changing pitchers. You know, he can't back up a right-hander against two right-handed hitters or lefty against two lefties.
Driven deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. X marks the spot. A 3-run home run. Yankees 8, Angels 5.
Well, they talked about CC Sabathia being the best pickup during the trade deadline. That might be true on the pitching mound, but as far as hitting is concerned, Xavier Nady has been outstanding for the Yankees.
He's been hot, and we talked about it. His whole demeanor just changed when he got his first hit and his first home run in Yankee Stadium. And he's probably going to get his first curtain call right there. I tell you what, you bring some people in, and if you're Brian Cashman, you got to be smiling because you brought people in to try to help this team immediately. Not that's going to help you next year or down the road. But right now, Nady's picking up a lot of the things on offense.
Hanging slider.
What a feeling, though. Those are the ones you hit, and you know before you even enter the batter's box. Doesn't take the fans long to get loud. That's a fun run around the bases, huh, Kenny?
Nady now has 14 hits this season to put his team in the lead. The 2-2.
You know, there have been a lot of guys traded not having good years, and you just gamble that the new scenery will kind of turn them around. In my mind, when you trade for a guy who's having a good year, like in Nady's case, you're almost in the mindset that as a player, you know, it doesn't matter where I'm hitting. I feel good this year. Things are going well. And you see it took a few games, but he's right back where he was in Pittsburgh right now. Comfortable at the plate, driving the ball to right center field, hitting home runs to left. I mean, if he can do this, and you're going to see him move up in the order, and you're going to have more RBI chances for this Yankee team.
Hitting with runners in scoring position.
The 3-2. Now, Nady's 3 for 4, but he really should be 3 for 3 because the 7-5 double play should have been a sac fly, so he should have 6 RBIs rather than 5 if Abreu had made the better running play. But then maybe the rest doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Because it's the fallacy of the predetermined outcome. The 3-2. High fly ball, center field, deep. Matthews back, he's there, and he puts it away for the final out of the inning. The anatomy of a comeback. Derek Jeter leads off with a fly ball to left center. Matthews can't handle it. Bobby Abreu ties the score. A couple of batters later, Xavier Nady makes it 8-5. We go to the 8th. Yankees up. New pitcher for the Yankees is Edouard Ramirez. So Geist did a great job. I mean, really a great job. 3 scoreless innings.
Now you're thinking I'm going against the Hitters Union by giving an award to a pitcher?
You know, we bragged how well the Angels play defense, and then they make you beat you. And if you look what happened last inning, you know, Gary Matthews Jr. missed that fly ball that Derek Jeter hit out there, and all of a sudden you've got an inning, then you got a couple breaks, and you score some runs.
Yankees tighten up the right side of the infield with Sexton at first and Cano at second. So Giambi and Betemeet out of the game. 8-5, the Yankees lead.
Cano sporting the high socks today.
And the pitch is low to Matthews.
Michael, today on the batting practice show, we were talking about the Yankees bench, and we were talking about Richie Sexton, his defensive ability to come off the bench when the Yankees take a lead late in the ball game, and what a big target he is over at first base. And a solid defender, Richie Sexton. Smooth moves for a big man.
You get your ring here today, Michael? Got my ring here. For a giveaway part.
Swing and a miss. Paul, you know, as we take a look at Matthew's swing and a miss, if I were you, I'd be worried.
Why is that?
Because David Cohn is standing there in a luxury box corrupting your children.
Oh, my. You know, they got smiles on their face, too, which is not a good thing. You know, the only one I worry him with is my young one, because Coney might learn something from him. That's what worries me.
Swing and a miss. This is every parent's nightmare.
What do you think they're looking for, huh? A foul ball there? You think they're looking for a foul ball?
I think they're looking for a foul ball.
I'm going to give you, I got one. They took the picture away.
Swing and a miss.
Whole group, but only a few of them are mine.
All right,
there's Coney and my oldest. Now see those white glasses? We were in Chinatown yesterday. I'm sitting there frustrated, stuck in traffic. And yeah, they're out there buying $5 glasses while I sit and wait in a hot minivan for them in Chinatown. I was trying to figure that one out.
Swing and a miss. Mathis down on strikes.
Edouard Ramirez has been coming out of the bullpen and doing the job of late. He faced his first too many faces today, are out on strikes. He hadn't given up a hit in a month of Sundays.
Well, you see what he strikes him out with. That's a fastball. And he's got a reputation for having such a great changeup that he's going to get away with that fastball if he can throw it for strikes.
Here's Reggie Willits. He has walked 3 times, but finally a strike. Ramirez has not given up a run since June 30th.
A hit.
A hit, I'm sorry, since June 30th. Or a run.
You're right.
Well, the Yankee bullpen has been outstanding. You've got to give so much credit to Girardi and Island. They rest them. They keep note of every single time they get up in the bullpen. Try not to wear them out. And also, you have to give some credit to the Yankee front office putting together a bullpen that aren't a bunch of overpriced pitchers. You know, they pieced guys that they discovered here and there, and they built a really strong bullpen. So a 2-1 count on Willits.
Not only that, Michael, there's a variety of ways of getting it done. So there's different looks for the opposition when, you know, Ramirez with the great changeup. You've got David Robertson. He's got a very good curveball out of the bullpen. Of course, Mariano with the cutter supreme. Marte with the sweeping breaking ball.
This would be a great game, you know, if it goes as planned for the Yankees to look at a comeback, to hopefully get Mariano in here in the 9th inning to close this thing out. He needs a good outing under his belt before you grab this plane and go out on a long road trip.
And the 3-2. Just got a piece to stay alive.
You shouldn't forget Brian Bruni, who is back with the Yankees now. Good fastball up in the upper 90s. So that they've got different looks for the opposition out of the bullpen. I mentioned Marte, sweeping breaking ball. Plus he's left-handed.
Boy, is he. He's almost out of our picture our monitor when he releases the ball.
3-2. And Willits walks for the 4th time. And there goes Willits toward first base.
What you walking about, Willis?
I'm walking about 4 times today.
Goodness, you could see why he'd been a leadoff hitter last year.
Yeah, we talked about, you know, Ramirez, how good of changeup he has been. In that situation with a 3-run lead, you can't walk guys against this lineup. Make him hit his way on, not a home run hitter. You know, if he gets a base hit, he's in the same boat. He's on first base. So Those are the things sometimes that you have to take into consideration. Not always the best thing to do, try to get a strikeout. Just get out.
And if you're the Yankees here and the relievers out of the bullpen, you're just trying to prevent the tying run coming to the plate. Just get your outs. Erase those outs off the scoreboard. They become very precious at this time of the game.
Figgins lines one just off the glove of A-Rod into left field, and Figgins has 4 hits. The Yankees can't stop the number 9 batter and the leadoff batter.
The leadoff batter's coming up every time with a man on base, which kind of gets the infield in, and it's all because of walks. And Figgins has shown over the past he's a tough out for the Yankees, and because the reason he is you see right here, he'll slap and spray the ball all over the place.
That's his second game in this series. He's got 4 hits.
37 at bats Ramirez had gone without allowing a base hit. So that's a no-hitter and 1 out into the 4th inning. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, any way you look at it, that's pretty impressive. I mean, he's throwing the baseball very well for Joe right now, and that's, I mean, part of the reasons you make the trades, you make decisions. I mean, guys like that throwing the ball like that, it enables you to go out and get a guy like Pudge and not feel like you're just tearing your bullpen apart by losing Farnsworth.
Ibar becomes such a big batter now before you get to the big guys. There's that changeup, and Ibar pretty much spun himself into the ground. That was the Bugs Bunny change.
That was the Elmer Fudd swing.
You see him, yeah, you see him step out. It's because everything in your body hurts. When you get fooled that much, everything kind of jerks. The wrist hurt. Lucky you didn't let go of the bat.
The players actually call it the Bugs Bunny or changeup because there's actually a cartoon where Bugs plays baseball, and the changeup is so good the batter swings 3 times before the ball goes into the catcher's glove.
In that same cartoon, you said it's important out here because the big guys are coming out. In that cartoon, the big hairy guys come up in the middle of the order. The big forearm, big papa. Yeah.
I think they're called the Gas House Gorillas.
Michael, you and I are on the same page. Early in life, we were watching Bugs Bunny together,
I think we're both on that page now. 54,204. 37th sellout of the year. Many of them on their feet. And the 0-2. Nice block there by Rodriguez. And Damaso Marte begins to warm.
So Kenny, we talked about hitting that, sometimes you try to make it happen on that pitch, and as a young pitcher right here, you get caught up with the crowd. I mean, you have to realize where you're getting an out here. Try to let that hitter get himself out.
So Pudge trying to drag that pitch back over the outside corner, didn't get the call. Watch the glove hand. Nope, not this time.
That's a little bit too much movement. That ball's in the other batter's box, but this time of the game, you try anything.
Joe tried to get the strike with some body language. The 2-2. Now there's trouble because this starts the runners and the count is full, and on deck is Mark Teixeira.
See that changeup, good job by Pudge, but this becomes a tough pitch for Pudge because Ramirez loves to throw that changeup 3-2, but you can't. I mean, you have to go with his best, but you also can't dig a big enough hole to let these guys get back in this game. This is where knowing the pitcher sometimes can really come into play.
And the 3-2. He just foul tipped the ball to stay alive.
That is swung at ball 4.
Yeah, another changeup 3-2, and again, you see he got a piece of it, but that ball's running away. That ball's in the other batter's backs.
This is just a guy who don't want to walk.
Again, the runners will go. And a fake towards second, chasing Willett's back, but no one there to receive the throw.
At 239 at bats, Ibar has walked 8 times.
Runners go. 3-2. Walked him. Bases are now loaded. The tying runs are now on base. And that brings up switch hitting Mark Teixeira.
You see all the outfielders retreating. I mean, this is the time of the game where you play no doubles. Nothing can be hit over your head. You can't allow these guys to score on doubles.
Now you got Marte warming up in the bullpen, and sometimes managers would like to flip the switch hitter over to the other side of the plate in an instant, like, because he hadn't been up right-handed all day long. But the problem for Joe Girardi is that Teixeira is 5 for 6 against Marte with a homer.
That's why he's staying with Ramirez. They'll bring in Marte for Anderson if they lose Teixeira. Ball, a guy with a great changeup. Would you ever sit change?
Well, I think you're doing certain situations, but I mean, he's having trouble throwing that changeup over the plate right now. So I think you look for your fastball if you're a fastball hitter, especially early in the count. You're looking for something to drive if you're Teixeira here to get the team back in the game.
And the team's back in the game. The team's back in front. A grand slam. Teixeira has put the Angels up 9-8. All with 2 outs. A walk, a single, a walk, and a grand slam by Mark Teixeira. A crushing blow for the Yankees as an 8-5 lead goes away.
'21st home run of the year, but his first with the Angels. And to me, throwing a pitch inside, I don't know if he missed the target, but he's asking for trouble on a hitter who's ahead on the count 1-0, looking for a pitch he can drive.
Anderson swings and misses. 4th career grand slam for Teixeira.
See, there's the target in, and that's, to me, you're looking for trouble, especially pull hitter at Yankee Stadium, head on the count, looking for something he can jump on.
You know, as you're the manager, you're looking over what has happened, and it's not the first base hit that bothered you, not really even the home run. It's the 2 guys that you walked before that sets up this inning, and it, you know, a 2-run homer doesn't beat you, but the 2 walks that put you down a run, and that's what frustrates you.
There's a grounder right side. Cano to Sexton, and that'll do it. But, and it is a huge butt as the crowd boos the Yankees off the field. Angels 4 runs on 2 hits. The big blow, a grand slam. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 9-8 LA. 9-8 Angels. Scott Shields on the mound. And Pudge Rodriguez shows bunt, takes the ball outside 1-0.
These are the guys, one of the guys you don't want to see out of the Angels bullpen. It's been effective for a number of years.
With 1 swing, what could have been one of the biggest wins of the year for the Yankees, and they still have a chance to win it, might turn into one of the toughest losses. But we'll see if they have something in them to come back over the final 2 innings.
Yes, that guy right there, that's probably the biggest hit he's had since he's been over here.
It's been a battle of the trade line, deadline acquisitions, Nady and Teixeira.
Hit sharply and fair down the left field line. It kicks out to Anderson, and the Yankees get a tough break. If it doesn't hit up against the jutting out of the stands, it goes into the corner for an easy double.
You're right, Michael. I mean, this is just the breaks you get through it in and out the season. And right here, this is a sure double down the right field or the left field line. Pudge turns on a ball. Tough pitcher, hits it right down the line, but it hits that little sidewall and kicks straight to Anderson. And the difference here, I mean, you got a leadoff Dibble, leadoff Rob Dibble. Yeah, if you've got a leadoff double, you know, Melky can move him over and you can, you know, get an easy run to tie this game up. Right now, leadoff single, you still try to manufacture a run.
Melky squared the bunt as Shields stepped off, and that had Figgins moving in even closer. Melky's gotten 4 sacks down this year, sacrifice bunts.
Quick review of the top of the 8th. Any thought there of Mariano Rivera to get 4 outs? Did it develop too quickly to get Mo up?
He wasn't up in time. I don't know if he could have gotten ready in time. I mean, first of all, the inning looked like it was going to be a pretty easy inning. There was no real reason to get him up. If you walk somebody within the first 2, then maybe you bring him up. But he got the first 2 hitters out on strikeouts, struck them both out. So it looked like it was going to be an easy inning. Then things started to go the other way. To me, the major walk was the one to Ibar. It's a guy who doesn't walk.
Well, Melky wants the bunt, but Shields is not allowing him to, and Butcher's going to come out and say, hey, take the out. So the pitching coach makes his way out to talk with Shields. Now Melky will at least take 1 pitch. And there's a strike.
You know, it's funny because all of a sudden you're 3-0, you're going to take to 3-1. Now you've really only given yourself 1 opportunity to bunt, because now if you don't get it down here, you're 3-2.
That's a good
then
point.
You've got to swing away.
Let's see if they take the bunt off now. No, they do not. And now it's 3-2.
Yeah.
Okay, now the question is, let's manage before he has to. Do you let him bunt now? Do you make him bunt with 2 strikes?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you can, because, I mean, he didn't even attempt to strike there, and I don't think that you can run Pudge either. I think you got a pinch runner now. So now Christensen, we saw steal a base the other night when we didn't expect him to. So, you know, right now a lot of things are going on. And if you're Melky Cabrera, you just have to realize you have to know if that third base coach is allowing Christensen to run, because you've got to protect that plate. Or if he's on a hold mission, then you really got to concentrate on swinging his strike.
Now, Christian is a guy who will take off, and he has the green light all the time from Girardi. So maybe they send him to try to stay out of the double play. Justin Christian pinch running.
And he's leaning over there. Looks like he's going, but, you know, he might be showing Shields that too. But I don't know if you were like me, Kenny, but I wanted to always know if that runner was going or not going, because if he's going and it's a fastball close, I feel like I have to put that ball in play somewhere, because the runner's not trying to steal the base here. They're just moving.
And he's going. And it's bobbled, and everybody is safe. And that's what putting pressure on the defense does. That's a 6-6-3 double play if the runner's not going.
You talk about something that happened quick that just changed his whole play. And that's putting Christian in the run, getting Pudge out of there, letting him take off. He got a decent jump, but again, it's Melky Cabrera's job here to put the ball in play. You got a guy moving. When you're moving on defense, plays get hard.
Also, Ibar was coming over to cover second base, so he didn't have his real rhythm coming after the ground ball. Now he's kind of caught in between. In between hop off the chest. It's an error on the shortstop.
Now you've got a good bunter up, and Johnny Damon, you get these guys over, give yourself a chance to tie and possibly win the game.
Runner goes, and the ball goes into left field. Christian throws off his helmet, heads home. Game is tied at 9. Melky goes to third. Speed kills.
Well, Michael, yesterday you were talking about Homer Bush in his days in the late 90s with the Yankees. When Joe Torre used to put him in the pinch run, it seemed like he would always score a run.
And right here with the third baseman moving in, going back to the bag this way, it's a tough play. Figgins doesn't draw leather. He made a lot of things happen. This is exciting baseball, and this is why Joe Girardi loves having him on the team.
Can't you just see Homer doing that back in the 98?
It seemed like there for a while. Every game that Homer played in, we won, and it was because he'd go in and score a run.
It's a double steal, 1 for Christian, 1 for Melky, and the run scores on the throwing error by the catcher Mathis. You need those guys off the bench. The Yankees in the championship years had the Bellingers, the Foxes, Homer Bush in '98. Make things happen. They have a job. They have to execute it. And he did just now. He changed the tenor of the game. The infield is in with a runner at third. That's the go-ahead run. And now Socha is balking at the home plate umpire, Ed Rapuano. Doesn't like the strike zone. It looked like Socha said, okay, all right, you're right.
It looked like he asked if that first pitch was a strike. He was kind of messed up on the count. You know, again, a couple errors this inning. I mean, Anaheim has been kind of put under pressure by the Yankees, which is kind of turning the table. And you see how many things happen with extra outs, Ken. I mean, you get a couple extra bats, couple extra players to run. Next thing you know, you've got that winning run on third base.
By the way, that's Christian's 5th stolen base in 6 attempts.
And there's a walk, and the only time that Christian was caught, he fell down. Take a look at the jump from second base by Christian. Angels are playing bunt, so the third baseman's on the move and has to make the catch as he's backing up. And the throw from Mathis wasn't good, so Christian scores, game tied.
You know, the funny thing about that is if they run any kind of trick play, if they get...
He'll take the scraped knee, though.
Oh, absolutely. Because as a runner, if you're looking here, you figure I can beat him to third, and you know if he's moving, Figgins is moving back, it's a tougher play. It's a great time to steal a base there.
Yeah, Figgins has to catch the ball first and couldn't do so.
So here's Derek Jeter, first and third, infield still in, nobody out. Mariano is warming in the bullpen. And the pitch is a strike. Jeter a sac bunt in the first, a walk in the fourth, a single in the sixth, and reached on a E8. A drop fly ball in left center by Gary Matthews Jr. And that was in the seventh, when the Yankees scored 4 to take the lead.
How about Joe Girardi waiting to a 3-2 count to put in a pinch runner? You don't see that very often.
And it came down to, you know, he wanted to put somebody in motion, and he didn't want Rodriguez being that guy.
And the 0-1. 0-2. Justin Christian is essentially a pinch runner on this team, and the teammates realize how important his role is on this team, and that's the greeting he got in the dugout.
Yeah, he might get some starts against some lefties coming up here.
The 0-2. And that goes into the Yankee dugout. You hope that everybody's all right. It cleared the top of the fence, but didn't go over the roof, so it landed in the dugout. Looks like there was nobody where the ball landed. Jabba Chamberlain has the ball. And he'll have the ball tomorrow. The 0-2 as he starts the first game of the road trip against Texas.
You see Jeet trying to do what he does, and that's to fight the ball off, go to right field, get that runner in. But Shields, it's such a tough guy for a right-hander to try to shoot the other way because his ball naturally bores in on you, throws hard enough to get in on your hands. It's a tough at bat for Derek Jeter.
Runner goes. Grounded to short. They only have one out. And they make it as Damon moves to second. Now here's an interesting call. You've got the red-hot Bobby Abreu coming up. You've got first base open. You've got last year's MVP on deck. You got a righty on the mound, a lefty coming up, a righty on deck. What do you do?
You know, to me, you got to go with what's been happening in this series. And Bobby Abreu's been wearing you out the whole series. And it looks like they're going to go after him. And to me, they're going to pitch him carefully.
Right. If I'm hitting right here, I'm taking the first pitch. You can usually tell if they're coming after you or if they're, you know, unintentionally and intentionally walking you. And a lot will be said on this first pitch.
Right now, because he's not been walked, this is the power of Alex Rodriguez. You know, just his presence That's why they're not walking Abreu outright to load the bases.
And that's why you like batting in front of him. And the pitch to Abreu. Inside 1-0.
That's Shields. That's not his best pitch. So to me, if I'm hitting, I'm thinking he's trying to make me roll over something. I'm going to make him throw me a strike before he shows me he's going to come after me.
Abreu is 0 for 4 lifetime against Shields. Now you might wonder, well, what's A-Rod? Alex is 8 for 25 against Shields. With 2 home runs, that's 320. So the wheels are turning between the two former catchers, Mike Scioscia and Joe Girardi. They can put the chess pieces in place, but the players have to do the job now. Cabrera is at third, Damon is at second. 1 man out, infield in, game tied at 9, bottom of the 8th inning. Shields had a very un-Shields-like season last year, really struggled, but adjusted some things in his delivery during spring training, and he has come back to be the dominant setup man again. The 1-1. 2-1.
He's had some arm problems off and on, and I think last year that plagued him somewhat.
Might be another reason why you see him throw into Abreu. I mean, 147 left-handed hitters.
The 2-1. 3-1.
It's going to be the last pitch that he's going to see. So, you know, it's going to come down to whether A-Rod can get this ball out of the infield off a tough right-hander.
I don't think he's going to drill one in the middle of the plate here.
No.
And the pitch. Didn't come close. So now the bases are loaded.
I think the theory was right. He was going to pitch him carefully. If they walked him, fine. He's been killing them the whole series. See how the infield plays is like a dropping back in the middle of the infield.
All right, let's set the scene. Alex Rodriguez, so clutch last year, turning around his reputation, but this season he has not come through in these spots. He has 9 home runs when the Yankees are up by 3 runs or more. This is a big spot for A-Rod, bottom of the 8th inning. Can he come through with the game on the line? Bases loaded, 1 out. Ground ball. This could be 2. It's dropped. Throw to first. Not in time. Yankees take a 10-9 lead. And Shields is upset. That was an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play. Instead, it's an E5 and a 10-9 Yankee lead.
I think in Shields' mind, he did everything he wanted to do. He was careful with Abreu, loaded the bases, going for the double play. Figgins has the ball in a glove, but not securely enough. Drops it, then the throw to first is not in time. A-Rod beats the relay, the throw to first, and there's the reaction of Shields. He's looking at the drop ball. He knows there's no double play. After that, the Yankees are going to get a run.
Well, that's going to do it for Shields as Scioscia goes to the bullpen. Yankees have a 1-run lead, looking for more. And he will face Robinson Cano. And the pitch is high, 1-0.
Yeah, Cano's been bothered by a sore left hand, which is the top hand on the bat. That's sort of like the power hand. The bottom hand is a guide, and the one that forces the bat through the zone is the top hand. And it's been bothering him of late, and he's been struggling a little bit lately.
Now, there's one thing that we should note. This is a 10-9 game, and Mariano Rivera is not warming up in the bullpen. Now, in the clubhouse today, Mariano, sometimes this happens, sitting in his locker, and he had an ice pack or a heat pack on his shoulder. Maybe he's just not able to go today. But if he doesn't come in and it's a safe situation, that would tell you that something is awry. The 1-1. Ground ball, base hit up the middle. 1 run scores. Here comes Abreu. He scores. It's a 2-run single for Cano, and the Yankees lead 12-9. So Cano, who came in for defense, gets a big base hit.
Well, if you're going to sit all day, what a better time to get up and get an at-bat with bases loaded. They bring in a lefty, a guy that's been around a long time, not overpowering anymore, a guy that you can handle, drive up the middle.
Well, now, Xavier Nady has an opportunity to make this a non-save situation in the 9th inning. First and second, still one out. The Angels with a very uncharacteristic 4 errors in the game. And Nady has had some game. 5 RBIs, 3 hits, a 2-run double, a 3-run home run. This is only the 2nd time all season that the Angels have made 4 errors in a game. They did it against Philadelphia on June 20th. And Xavier is a triple away from the cycle. Last Yankee to ever hit for the cycle back in 1995, Tony Fernandez. Tony was here yesterday, made a great play in the field. He can still pick it. 28 errors in their last 33 games. Now, they've been hot, but that is not a Mike Scioscia team thing to do. The 1-1.
Yeah, that game on June the 20th, the Angels made 4 errors and still won the game, which is not easy to do.
You said they had good pitching. That's real good pitching.
They only gave up 1 run.
Yeah, that's a big outs in that game.
And the count now 3-1 to Nady. 12-9 Yankees lead. Veras warming alongside Marte.
Nady is set up with a big-time hitter's count. This is where you kind of force yourself. Don't do too much with your swing. Don't try and force it. Just try and make a nice crisp swing and just drive the ball. If you get it on the sweet spot, everything will take care of itself.
The 3-1.
He tried to do too much.
Yeah.
That might have been ball 4.
Best things you can do with swings like that, that ball's tailing away, is miss them. The worst thing you can do is just put it in play. You know, a little 14 hopper to the second baseman. That's what really gets you mad, because you can regroup right here.
Yeah, water coolers are in trouble after that.
Oh, took 4 days, but he got it in there, didn't he, Michael?
And you thought it was going to be me.
I've been over near water coolers in my
couple.
time. Yeah.
Let's see if the runners go. 3-2, 1 out. They go. Grounded off the glove of Figgins. A-Rod scores. Cano will stop at third. The Yankees now lead 13-9. That should be a base hit. And it would be the 6th ribby for Xavier Nady.
Have yourself a Sunday afternoon. Figgins moving to the right. He can't do anything right.
Nothing.
Moving to the right. Ball's hit to his left. Off of his glove. And on into the outfield for a hit. You know how he feels this inning. He looked like he took a couple of steps to his right before the pitch was made. Then the ball's hit to his left. Had to recover and couldn't do so.
The 6 ribbies for Nady is a career high. And Richie Sexton, who came in for defense, swings and misses. The 0-1. Fouled away. The 6 ribbies for Nady. He's done it 7 other times, so this is the 8th time he's driven in 6 in a game. Check that. I misheard. That is, he's had 4 hits 8 times. The 6 ribbies, that stands alone. Strike 3. Sexton down looking. Paul, you had a great look on your face when I said he'd driven in 6 runs 8 times. You said, wow.
I didn't like it. I didn't believe it. He hadn't been around long enough to do that for 8 times. But I wasn't going to expose you to the world, Michael.
No.
Like, you'd have thrown me under the bus if I said
That's
something
why.
like
That's
that.
why you're a good guy, and I'm not. Here's Justin Christian, kind of turned this inning around. Bud Rodriguez opened it with a single, then he pinch ran and turned a 9-8 deficit into a 9-9 game. And now he picks up an RBI. What an inning for Justin Christian. What an inning for the Yankees. They now lead 14-9.
Kenny, I got to agree with you. I think after this game, I mean, as a manager, you just want to see enthusiasm and guys that want to go out and play and help the team win. I think he'll deserve a start.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if I turned the TV on and watched the Texas series if he starts one of those games.
I don't know if Texas has any left-handed starters. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, maybe the second game. Matt Harrison is a left-hander. He might get a start in that contest.
And there's strike.
You know, one thing about Texas, and you always hear about how hot it is down there, it's one of the better ballparks to hit in all of baseball. Pitching staff, we kind of touched on it earlier, not one of the better ones in baseball. So when you go down there as an everyday player, you know if you put together some good at-bats, you're going to have some good things happen. They got a chance to go down there, try to take the momentum they have today of scoring 14 runs so far, and just continue to do that because it's a great ballpark to throw up runs, great place to have good at-bats.
You're thinking like an 8-hit series, maybe 9.
Might, yeah. Maybe.
Well, these are the probables for the upcoming 4-game set, the probable temperatures as well. And the 1-2. Driven into right field. Willet's bat will make the play, but the Yankees score 6 runs on 4 hits, 3 errors, and 2 left. Justin Christian turned the inning around. Christian dominates the Angels in a big way as we go to the 9th inning. A 28-minute inning, and the Yankees lead 14-9. Those are the numbers on Veras as he will try to get the final 3 outs of this game. Really a seesaw thriller here in the Bronx. 14-9 Yankees. Kendrick will lead off. And the pitch is high, 1-0.
Kenny and I were just talking about Ramirez's day. Now, it's not very often that you come in with a lead, give up a couple hits, a walk, a grand slam, give up the lead, and now you're up for the win. What do you think of that?
Yeah,
that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, that's why when you come out here, you're going to see. Come out here often enough, you're going to see a lot of strange stuff.
Fouled away. Yankees are 53-0 and leading after 8 innings. High fly ball left field. Nady is there. 1 away. Rounded to third and past a lunging A-Rod and down the left field line. So Rivera will round first. He'll go to second. And that's Rivera's first base hit of the afternoon. Do you believe, Paul, that there's some wins bigger than others?
Oh, absolutely.
Would this one fall under that
I
heading?
think so, because I mean, you fought back, you beat a team that you know, you're down 5-0 against Lackey. You fought back, got the lead, then you gave up the lead again. It's very easy just to say, oh, it's not going to be our day, and then they fought back again. And you know, if you can continually get games like this once in a while, I think they're very uplifting, especially on travel days. I think you get onto a plane in a different frame of mind, and you look forward to going down and starting another series. And on the other hand, talking about wins and losses, what mean more, I think it was much harder to get over that 1-0 loss than they get blown away 13-2 or something the first game. Much easier to get over those blowouts than it is those 1-0 games.
Curtis Granderson with a home run off Troy Percival in the top of the 9th inning, and the Tigers have tied the game. So after Kyle Farnsworth blew the save, now the Tigers have climbed back and tied the game at 4. And again, on the postgame show, Bob Lorenz will give you the up-to-the-minute score, the 0-1. Their strike count 0-2.
So blown saves on both sides of Tropicana Field.
Red Sox are leading the Athletics 5-2, about to sweep Oakland. If they can hold on, that game's in the bottom of the 6th. Popped up and out of play.
And you look at that swing there with Matthews, and you talked about his big contract and all these things. I mean, that's a good pitch to hit, and you see the guy fouling him off the other way. Something's just not quite right now, because that ball right there, that's in a left-hander's wheelhouse right there. Looks like he was opening up to get to it. Just didn't end up the way he wanted to. Okay.
That's a rusty swing.
Check swing. Did he go? No, said the crew chief, Joe West.
So Ken, let's put ourselves in this situation tomorrow. You go into the 8th inning, you know, in a close game, and I don't know if Joe has a set guy yet, but you know, Ramirez had trouble today, and you still got Marte, who could be that guy, and you still got Veras. So if you get to that point tomorrow, for instance, the same situation, where does Joe go from there?
You know what? I think he's developed a lot of confidence in David Robertson. Yeah, and that young man's been impressive since coming up here. Joe's kind of worried about this Veras going to 3-2 now on Gary Matthews Jr. You don't want to open a door for these guys. They've proven they can step in.
Breaking ball, strike 3. Whispering across the outside corner. The Yankees are 1 out away from a very big win.
You see a 3-2 backdoor breaking ball. Every once in a while, as a pitcher, I think you feel like you have better control with certain pitches. Fools him. Gets the call right on the outside part of the corner.
Yeah, that's a supreme trick.
There's Jeff Mathis, runner at second. And a strike. 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Veras. Matthews still shaking his head over that one.
Why me? He's thinking we're up 5 runs and he throws me a 3-2 hook.
Another thing he's thinking is, you know, I'm a big free agent. I signed a big contract. I'm looking up at that board and I was hitting 225, and it just, things aren't adding up right now. I mean, I'm a better player than that. I tell you, this game can get you down mentally when you're going through those tough times.
One. Fly ball center field. This should do it. Cabrera puts it away, and the Yankees win the game 14-9. Yankees fell behind 5-0, but Xavier Nady played a huge role with 6 of the 14 runs because of him. 6 RBIs for Xavier Nady, and he has been quite a tonic for the Yankees as they bring him over in the trade from Pittsburgh.
Welcome to the team. The new blood made it a new game. Mark Teixeira's two-out go-ahead grand slam in the 8th inning was his first home run as an Angel and would have been the nail in the coffin for the Yankees had it not been for Los Angeles' unusually sloppy defense. Their foibles culminated in 4 errors, which allowed 10 unearned runs by the Yankees in the 7th and 8th innings. The last time the Yankees scored 10 unearned runs at home was back in 1940 against the St. Louis Browns. It was Ivan Rodriguez's first homer as a Yankee that started their unlikely rally from a 5-run deficit, giving them their biggest comeback of the season to date. Newly elevated pinch runner Justin Christian tied the game when he stole third and forced an error. But it was Xavier Nady who was the real X factor in the game. He finished with 4 hits, including the 3-run shot off Jose Arredondo in the bottom of the 7th, and he earned the first curtain call of his career. The unconventional victory was an important one for the playoff hopeful Yankees, and it was a thrilling ride for fans to enjoy. For Yankee Classics, I'm John Sterling, and thanks for joining us.